everybody. How's it going? This is it. This is it. The very last of all of your, I guess, issues of looking at me. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play one of my very last and most favorite tunes as we go through this. One of the first ones I like here is my buddy Jeff Beck. Not my friend, he doesn't even know me, but you know. You try to communicate and you try to do certain things, but one of the things that you really realize later on is the fact that as we move along through this life, and I'm saying that simply because this particular topic is really the finale of my whole completion, because I've actually completed this. This is 52 weeks of my idea of what should and should not, or what I'm being showed. Right now we're listening to this this song called Nadia from Jeff Beck. Now you want to talk about what I think is good? This is good, because it doesn't have really a lot of impression issues. What it has is talent. And right now, this is talent. So in this particular issue, the topic of the day is you. And even though I've maybe have completed this particular issue for myself, it didn't really help me as far as I like. But what I understand is the fact that that's because of you. Because of what I had put together. And that particular issue started from the very beginning. Remember when we started this? I think the issue was to where there was going to be some accountability issues. Okay? This right here is going to be the type of accountability that really nobody's going to be able to mention. You're not going to be able to talk about this. This is all going to be a very big secret, simply because of the fact that through life, whether that was the life training issues, or whether those were the 7 deadly sins, or whether those were the armor, and all these ways to do this, this all breaks down to you. But it also creates an issue for me. So, as I listen and I understand and I move forward, I look at this from a point of saying, are you doing the same thing? Because I'm looking at, I'm looking at depression now. Because this whole society is so freaking backwards, man, that even these type of issues where you have these things, I mean, this kind of stuff, man, this is where you begin to see, well, wait a minute, I've never heard this before, but yet you're not looking. You don't hear what you don't want to hear or see. And that's a bad problem. Because in this society, the intention was to be in this new world, to be in this place where you have the ability to worship, to make the decisions, to improve life as they go forward. But as we find out and life goes forward, that's not what happened here. This particular society created more chaos than all the world combined. We got a state that I live in right now that has the most money in the known universe. 6th largest in the world? Come on, man, that's massive. Other countries don't even have that kind of money. But this is where we're at. This is money. This has nothing to do with human beings. This is money. But it does have something to do with human beings, because those human beings are the ones in control of that money. Here we go. Next step we got right here. I got this one that you really got to hear. And it's kind of a situation to where, I mean, I like it because of the fact that it kind of reflects my understanding of how people can move into different areas of life. This right here is called Let Us Go Into the House of the Lord. This was done by Carlos Santana and John McLaughlin. I mean, long time ago when I was a kid. And I'm going to tell you something right now. This right here, what you're hearing, listen to this. brings tears to my eyes, man. Seriously. Because, see, as compared to you, I recognize when someone is so gifted that, I mean, pretty much they can't do anything else. It's not possible. But in our society, and I'm sure it's worse than the rest of the world, because this is the one place, the last place on earth where you had the opportunity to be free and to do whatever you wanted to in order to improve this planet. That's not what happened. So now we're here at the finale of life. I mean, life for everybody. Climate change, you don't want to hear it. Rich against the poor, you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear about how people are so frustrated that they will create havoc for hundreds of thousands of people because that one person is frustrated about their life. We've already used all the examples. I don't care if that's guns or drugs, or whether that's cartels or Saudi sovereignty. All of these things are here to collapse, because in every issue that you look at, when it comes to how even you make a decision, it's not a collective decision. It's not that issue where, they use that Maya Angelou thing where it takes a village to raise a child. Yeah, that sounds good, but that's not happening, because our children are now numb. They don't understand anything. They're not creative. You didn't give them an opportunity. You said they were free to do what? Learn that particular lifestyle, and that's it. You didn't offer up any other lifestyle. You didn't offer up the fact that there's a good lifestyle and there's a bad lifestyle. You didn't do that. So now, out of all the freedom in this last sovereignty land of all existence, even though it was stolen and robbed and murderized or genocide by one culture to the next, what we have is the last place that you're ever going to be able to see. Now it's going to be country after country. And this is where the world war issue comes into place. Why? Because one country, and let's take the state of California, because really, in a sense, it's a country. You'll find that out later on once the rest of the area begins to deteriorate, but you'll find out that because of whether that's the scenery, tourism, corporate issues, intellectual properties, scientific issues, no more motor vehicles. I mean, all these other things. But look who's here in this state. Now, if the rest of the world doesn't understand how to make that happen, bad, bad, bad. So, as this particular issue goes into a final, I guess it's staging or on deck or, next up or do whatever, what you find out is the fact that really everything that's been done could have been done better, should have been done better, but the people with the money didn't want that to happen. So now, consequences. And as I said before, those consequences... But you did exactly what you were supposed to. You didn't listen. Not one person. This whole 52 weeks subscribed to nothing that I said. And that just goes to show me. I proved my point. Not only does this community not pay attention to the black community, which is moi, you don't even care about what God thinks. And that's the sad part. So, I kind of put this as a I don't know. I got nothing to warn nobody about. All I have to do is say, well, I did my job. My job's complete. Now, what I'm going to do is to basically retreat back into what I have to do. Because even though bringing out this information and creating this particular venue of responsibility or accountability or even, I'd say, intelligence, I did my part. But that was my part. That's what I was supposed to do. And guess what? Thank God, I think I did it well. But this was really what makes it better. And I've told a few people, but here's what I'm going to do now. going to go ahead and try to get into this analytics thing and all this other kind of stuff and put what I've already done on the big channel. Because I'm going to create another channel. This one channel is going to be to where I can help people, my company can help people, and my culture can help people. So we're going to make this other channel, put it on YouTube, and then we're going to put that into an issue of public access all over the country. Public access is unified all over the place. So, and it's free. Public access is great. You know, you can get on, well, it's not really free because in a sense, mostly public access issues have to do with cable companies, and it doesn't really do anything to when it comes to like your digital networks and those would-be fake digital antenna things where all you see is a bunch of stuff about either drugs or somebody trying to look good or somebody trying to be fit or something. I don't know. It's the commercial issue has gone way out. I mean, used to be commercials were like 30 seconds, maybe half a minute. Well, that was half a minute. But, you know, up to a minute at some point. Depends on how much money you spend. Now, they got like, what do they call them? Special programs, or even at the digital level, you have even like certain companies like AAA or the military or, you know, some of the other corporations have their own channels so they can go ahead and show people what to do. And I believe that's the best way to go. Because right now, as corporations move forward, they should put everything on video. And in a sense, that's a good business. What happens now that we go on and we say, okay, well, let's get corporate policy out in the open. Why don't we do that? Why? Because everybody's afraid of the corporations. Instead of having employee-owned corporations, okay, now you have just corporations. But see, you don't understand what I see. So, and again, I understand that. So, as I look at it, and I say to myself, let us go into the house of the Lord, and let's get ourselves a revival type issue. Let's revive what we already have inside ourselves, and let's say, wait a minute, let's make some changes. Let's open up to the fact that the wealthy are not creative. We talked about that. But what we did not talk about is how are we going to identify. And I've said this many times, you know, you can identify people by doing certain things, but the whole issue behind identification to a lot of this has to do with the fact that most people don't want to. And I got a friend right now that, well, it's not even a friend. It's just somebody I know, really, because friends don't act this way. I never want anybody to act this way. But you know something? It's just like right now. If you take an opportunity, let me give you a prime example. It happened to me. Let's say you have an opportunity. And in this particular instance, it was a situation where you could make money, but it was a prelude to making more money. But yet in this society, if someone were to come to you and do that, you would most likely want to steal that money from them. And not take the long opportunity. Not take that high road like I said before. You're going to take the low road. Oh my God, I'm going to get this and I'm going to go, and then after that you got nothing. Then you have misery and disgust because now you're going to hate yourself and say, wow, man, I should have done that, man. I had an opportunity and I didn't do it. And that's what this is. This is a matter of competency. Remember what I said? It's a matter of competency. Because if you're competent, when it comes to saying, well, I'm competent in my communication. I'm competent in my activities. I'm competent that I stand on the Word of God and I listen and understand what the Spirit or the kingdom of God has to say to me. Because remember, that was the gist of these whole 52 topics. Was to ground lifestyle into communication. Now, this training now that has happened for these 52 past weeks should have created something else. But because we are in this darkness, you're not going to see it. You're not even going to subscribe. You're not even going to think that at some point or another, maybe I should listen to this in detail. Maybe I should send some of this stuff to a friend of mine and say, wait a minute, man, let's take one of these topics and let's try to expand on what this guy is saying. But because I'm who I am, whether that's the ugly, big, black, disgusting, poor, ugly, I went ugly already, but that unsavory type of person, or that let's see, that man that's not going to care for me or take care of me. And you know, again, take the topics. Look at what you are. Look at what I am. Better yet, focus on me. Focus on what I'm doing. Focus on what I've said. Focus on if I've gone through and done and followed through with what I've even spoke about through this last 52 sessions. Look at that. See what you find. Gauge what you recognize as life, or even truth, or even opportunity. Because if I remember correctly, and let's see, if we do this correctly, we could say that without a doubt, we've learned something this past year on how to say, well, let's deal with the church, right? Or another topic, here we go, fruits, racism. We did that. Privilege has to stop. That was one of the messages. You didn't want to get it, that's fine, and that's okay. But what about this? What about communication? Okay, verbal, nonverbal, written. Okay? It's just like anything else. Okay? It's just like anything else that came up into these particular wrath, pride, communication, life, racism. These were all Marie Antoinette, you remember that? Woo-wee. Bad business. Getting ready to happen again. So, if we look at this and we continue to say why does what this guy say doesn't matter? Why? I'll tell you why. Because in this society, like I've said before, people that look like me or communicate like me are negated. And that's fine. Because right now, I'm looking at it from a point of saying, well, now that I know, I need to create another avenue of escape. You know this as gibberish, and that's cool. But you know something? I don't know if I can relay the fact that I have a kind of caring and a love for people, but then I can't stand people. I hate you guys, man. Why? Because even though I did say I didn't want you to subscribe, I did. Or I didn't want you to listen, or you're going to be held accountable, that's true. I would have liked to have seen progress and more comments and people actually subscribing, but that's not what happened. So, from this point on, I can literally say, after 52 attempts, why should I care about anything that you say or do? Why do I care? I'm going to make this an absolute, I'm going to put this on my website. Because if you want to see what my thought pattern is, not that you care, not that anything that I say matters, but you know why I think the way I do. Because again, competency, truth, I'd have to say lifestyle at this point. And remember, my lifestyle is kingdom business. Okay? Even though I can't stand living on this planet anymore, I still got to deal with this kingdom business. So, if these issues do not show that at some point I have a level of competency that maybe is higher than others, or the fact that I can communicate better than other people, or the fact that I believe that there is a God that has created this whole situation, that there is somebody or something, this kingdom that we keep talking about, that I talked about, has a lot to do with being like John the Baptist. The dude was in a cave eating honey. After he baptized Jesus, oh my God, it was like, okay, I'm going to baptize a few more people and I'm bouncing. I'm out. So, finale of this is, I think I'm kind of like John the Baptist. Remember I said Joseph, you know, the good thing. But you know what really bothers me? Is the fact that the next level of assistance, I'm already being told that I should. But the next level, I don't think I'm going to be as nice. I'm pretty sure I'm not. Because remember, I got my oil. And since this 52 issue came into place, I now am positive that I do have a shack at the back end of heaven. Now it just may be made out of twigs. Maybe the beavers made it. I don't know. I'm going to stay there. But thank you, House of the Lord. I hope things get better for everybody. And I pray very, very hard that things get better for me. I wish you guys could put, something together for me. You do it for any other retarded individual around. I'm just playing. But the funny part about this is, whether that's companionship, whether that's peace of mind, whether that's love in my heart, it makes no difference. Because even like in my family structure, and again, I was like this throughout the whole period of life. I don't think I've changed very much. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to get nicer. I'm going to be more specific, and now I'm going to be focused on whoever wants to subscribe. If you want to get on the team is available to accept. But I want to continue to tell everybody to pray. Don't forget Proverbs. That is a key. I think I'm going to start beginning January 1st anyway. Start my, chapter a day along with my regular scriptures. So God bless. Happy New Year. Don't make any resolutions, please, people. Make it a point to get that time to get on that frequency, kingdom frequency, and to make sure that you understand. Take the high road every time. I want somebody up there with me on the high road, because there's too many people on the low road. So, leaving it what it is. God bless. Thank you. And it was a good year. Not really, but it was good. I'm pretty healthy now. But I hope you are, mentally, spiritually, physically. Man, everything. Let me know if you need anything. God bless.